Hey guys, how you going? It's been a while since my last video, but I had the opportunity to pick up the new McFarlane DC Multiverse gold label Deadman today. It's just come out here in Australia, dropped at the local comic and toy store, so I thought I'd grab it and we'll do a hands-on look. I'm not in my usual environment. I'm at my mother's house for work reasons, but anyway, here I am. Hopefully there's enough lighting in here to get us by. So here's the box. You'll see a standard box, DC Multiverse Deadman. It's a gold label, which basically in this case, I think it means it's an exclusive, a store exclusive in the US, not so much in Australia. Here is Deadman in the box. Nothing too exciting here. You'll see it's Deadman from DC Rebirth. And on the back, we have that terrific art of Deadman wrapped in his chains. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So yeah, let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. So to start off with, let's look at some of the accessories that come in the box. There's your standard McFarlane DC Multiverse stand. You've seen it a million times. Don't need to spend any time on it. There is the trading card, which in this case has that really gorgeous art on it. Deadman DC Rebirth. There's the bio for Boston Brand. You can pause this and have a read if you like. And finally, and most interestingly, some elements I've not seen before. Some new sort of magic elements in a sort of a translucent grey smoky colour. Very cool. These are not like a copy from any other character. These look like unique elements. And these I assume go on Deadman's arms or legs potentially. And then there's this really cool piece which has been sculpted really nicely. It's got like a screaming ghost or spirit face, and this little peg here, which I suspect pegs into Deadman's back, but we'll have a look at that in a minute. So yeah, that's everything that comes in the box. Why don't we have a look at Deadman himself? Right, so here's Deadman himself out of the packaging. You'll see he looks excellent. Well, I think he looks excellent. This brilliant dark red color scheme, which I think is perfect compared to the source material. Obviously the major standouts are his painted D on his torso. You see it's not raised, it's just a paint application. And obviously he has this terrific collar, which is source material accurate. Before we get to the head sculpt, I just wanted to talk about his body buck, and look, it's pretty familiar. It's got that really nice sculpted ankles, really nice sculpted wrists. This is the Booster Gold and Blue Beetle body buck. And I think it works really, really well as like a slender, classic comic looking body buck. There's not much in the way of sculpted detail, like the legs are very plain. You know, there's, the musculature is pretty nice, but it's not over the top. You see, it's a very, very classic look. Perfect for this character. Where you get the detail in this character is obviously this amazing head sculpt, and obviously the upper part of the torso. You can see that it's intensely well sculpted. People have said this looks like the Night King from Game of Thrones, and it actually does look a lot like that. I don't know if it's a reuse of that sculpt or just inspiration has been drawn, but in any event, I think it looks great for Deadman. He doesn't always look exactly like this, but he has looked like this before. And you see there's just like a really great wash, like a blue wash, to really bring out those details. The eyes are painted excellently. I like the expression. I just think he looks really great. Like really, really great. Articulation, it's the standard McFarlane stuff. There's a double jointed knees, which are very stiff, but they do bend. I'm sort of wondering if you can get him into like that sort of like hovering pose. I think you could do it. It's going to be a little bit stiff and it might not be perfect, but you could do it. It's a shame he doesn't come with a flight stand, I've got to say. I feel like this is one of those characters that you want to pose in like mid-levitation. I don't have a flight stand on me because I don't have my collection here right now, but like, I could borrow a flight stand and sort of make him hover and fly. I think he'd look really, really great. Torso articulation's the same as Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. It's modest, right? You're not getting much in the forward articulation or back. Very modest, but it does preserve the sculpt here, that choice, and it allows that sort of D to shine, I think. Arms, you see they've got the butterfly joint. It's pretty standard. I mean, double jointed at the elbows. You know, this needs to be warmed up with warm water. It'll definitely do everything you want it to do. You'll see that he's got sort of a magic hand and a fist. I feel like he could have done with 2 magic hands and maybe a spare set of fists, but that's just me. There's that diaper, you know, it is what it is. I think it looks okay. You know, very little sort of swivel in the thighs, like non-existent. Toe articulation, standard, and the standard McFarlane ankles. You know, it's very standard. You get him to do most things you want him to do, I think. I'm going to heat him up with water and see how he goes, but I think I'm going to pose him levitating on a flight stand with his magic hand raised. So why don't we attach his accessories and see how he looks. Right, so here is Deadman with his accessories in place. Now, I'm never quite sure what Todd McFarlane wants you to do with these like sort of weird energy effects or magic effects or speed force effects. You kind of just have to jiggle them over his arms in a way that makes them sit still. It's never quite obvious how they're meant to sit, but like, you know, I've done my best. I think they look really cool, especially with a bit of light shining in them. It gives them a mystical look. This one sits on the arm quite well. This one, I have no idea what you're meant to do. You know, you can fiddle around with it. I think they're quite cool in concept, and I think people who are more talented and clever than me will find better ways to position them to make them look quite good. I think the standout is this sort of spirit accessory that attaches in a peg in his back. I'll show you in a minute. I think that looks awesome. I think the translucent plastic looks awesome, especially if there's this light shining through. It gives it a really ghostly look, and I think it's just a really interesting accessory. I've not seen anything like it in the line. That's how it sits around his shoulders, and a peg just sort of where his back of his neck. And I think it just looks excellent. Like, really, this is an excellent figure, right? This is, I don't want to get too sort of dramatic about it, but one of my favorites for the year. It's a classic comic book design. He looks great. You know, very, very good mix of like simple sculpt, like very clean, and then that hyper detailed, you know, rotting looking head sculpt, that really deceased look. It's a great contrast. And then just to top it off, to make it not too basic, you've got like this awesome collar and then these sort of like spectral magic effects. I just think it's, you know, absolutely terrific. And I'm a huge fan of the character. I can't wait to pose him up with my Justice League Dark set of characters that I have so far. I don't have those figures right here now, but like, I will do another video later perhaps to sort of show them off, but right now here's Deadman. I hope this has been helpful for you and interesting, and when he comes out widely in the US or wherever you happen to be in the world, I highly recommend getting him. He's excellent and a must-have. So until next time, see you later.